What are we gonna do today? We're gonna separate an acid and a base.
We're going to be separating p-nitroaniline and benzoic acid, an acid and a base. We have 0.75 milligrams of each in the test tube that you see here, and we're going to pour it into the Erlenmeyer. And then we're going to walk to the dispensing hood and get 40 milliliters of methylene chloride. Now we're going to get our 40 milliliters of methylene chloride. Now we're going to take our mixture A, which is in the Erlenmeyer, and to that mixture A we're going to add methylene chloride, as you see here. We're going to dissolve as much of the acid and base as possible, and we're going to put it in a separatory funnel, which you see me setting up. We're going to put a separatory funnel here. We're going to take the cap off. So into our separatory funnel, we decant our liquid, making sure the stopcock is perpendicular to the separatory funnel. Then we're coming back and we're going to take 2 portions of 25 milliliters of hydrochloric acid, which we're going to use to extract the mixture. We're labeling our Erlenmeyer flask 1 organic and 1 aqueous, because once we put the HCl into the separatory funnel with the methylene chloride, we're going to have an aqueous layer, which is consisting of anything that is in the HCl layer, and we're going to have an organic layer, which is anything that's in the methylene chloride layer. We're seeded 2 layers. We're separating them out, shaking and venting. The bottom layer is our organic layer, which is all the particles with the methylene chloride in it. We drain that into the Erlenmeyer flask you see here that says organic. The stopcock is open, and then the liquid is slowly draining. When all the organic layer is drained, we close the stopcock. Okay, so now we have drained the organic layer. We're going to take the aqueous layer and pour it into the Erlenmeyer labeled aqueous. Then we are going to re-pour in the organic layer and extract it one more time with 25 milliliters of HCl. We're going to cap the separatory funnel, repeat the process of shaking and venting to complete the extraction. Note that the cap is off the top of the separatory funnel while we're draining the organic layer. And once that's completed, we're going to take the aqueous portion and combine it with the first aqueous extract. And what we have left now is we have 2 Erlenmeyers, one with the organic layer, one with the aqueous layer. Your job will be to determine which layer has the p-nitroaniline and which has the benzoic acid. Now we're going to dry the organic layer with anhydrous sodium sulfate. Now we're weighing out the anhydrous sodium sulfate. We're taking the anhydrous sodium sulfate, pouring it into the organic layer. The sodium sulfate pulls out all the water from the organic layer. We're going to keep adding the anhydrous sodium sulfate until the granulars do not stick together, which means all the water has been pulled out. While we let that sit to dry, we can work up the aqueous layer. We're taking, as you can see here, some 6 molar NaOH, and we're going to add it to the aqueous layer until a precipitate forms. So we're adding it, and you can slowly see that a precipitate is formed or has formed. Once a precipitate is formed, we have to check to see that the solution is basic to pH. So we're going to dab a little bit of the solution on the pH strip, and then we will, once it's on, we will check it to the pH box to see that it's basic. And yes, it is basic. Once we have it basic, we can then let that sit, and now we go back to our organic layer. You can see we're multitasking and working both up at the same time. Here we pre-weigh a round bottom flask. We pour the organic layer into the round bottom flask, leaving the anhydrous sodium sulfate behind. So we just have a pre-weighed round bottom flask with the organic layer. We take it over to our Rotovap. We hook it up. We make sure that our Rotovap is set, and what the Rotovap does is it will take off all the liquid. We come back to our hood where we set up our vacuum filtration to separate our basic product. So here you see we're setting up our vacuum filtration just like we did last week with acid analyte. We are hooking up the aspirator hose to the filter flask, clamping it to the back, putting in our filter, and then turning on the water to create the vacuum. And we're pouring the liquid in. The liquid will drain to the bottom, and the solid, which is our product, will stay on the top. We can always rinse with a little water to get the last bit of solid out, and we're just going to let that sit. I'm going to go over to the Rotovap now, shut it off, release the vacuum. We're pulling it off. We have it here. We have to take it over to the balance, and we can weigh it. And now whatever the weight is, subtract it from the original weight of our flask, and we have the weight of our product. We can scrape the organic solid out of the round bottom. We can bend the spatula if we need to scrape out all the product. And once we get it scraped out, we can pour it into a weighing dish. Now we're going to shut off our vacuum filtration, and then we are going to take out our product, scrape it out of our Buchner funnel, put it onto our watch glass, making sure only to put the product and do not scrape the filter paper. This is the product that's been isolated from the aqueous layer, as you can see here, and the other product's been isolated from the organic layer, the one in the round bottom flask. We're going to label the two products, put the label on the bottom of the watch glass. A little hard to get the label off there. Put the products in a drawer, cover it with a beaker, and wait till next week to take a weight and melting point.